Most men never realize the emotional storm a woman goes through the moment she feels she's lost you. And here's the truth, she notices far more than you think. She doesn't just miss your presence, she begins to feel the weight of what her choices have cost her. The moment she senses your absence as permanent, it can spark regret, doubt, and even a subtle kind of desperation, but in ways that are rarely obvious to men. The issue is, most guys misread this entirely. They think that once a woman steps back or becomes distant, her feelings are gone. They assume she no longer cares, that her attachment has faded. But in reality, the loss often awakens emotions she wasn't fully aware of while you were present. She starts replaying your interactions, noticing the little ways you added value to her life, and confronting the reality that she can't easily replace what she had with you. Understanding this moment is crucial because it gives insight into female psychology and attraction. It's not about manipulation, it's about perspective. When a woman realizes she's lost you, the dynamics shift. The control subtly moves away from her assumptions and back toward you, whether you intended it or not. Her thoughts, emotions, and behavior begin to change, often triggering introspection and reflection. This video will break down 7 key emotional stages and reactions that women experience when they feel they've lost a man like you. We'll explore what she's really thinking, what she feels but doesn't say, and how her emotions evolve over time. More importantly, you'll understand why maintaining your boundaries, confidence, and independence is critical in this situation, and how these moments can even reignite attraction if handled wisely. So, if you've ever wondered how women truly react when they realize you're slipping away, or if you want to understand the subtle psychology that flips the dynamic in your favor, this video is for you. Welcome to the channel. Stick around, because we're about to dive deep into what she feels, what she thinks, and why it matters more than most men ever realize. 1. The first flicker of regret the moment she realizes she might be losing you. There's often a subtle flicker of regret. It's quiet at first, almost imperceptible. She might replay a small argument in her mind, think about a missed date, or feel guilty for taking your attention for granted. It's not always dramatic, but it's the spark that starts the emotional process of recognizing your value. Imagine a woman noticing that you're not texting back immediately like you used to. She sees that you're more engaged in your life, focused on your goals, and not immediately available at every whim. That slight absence creates a ripple in her thoughts. She begins to think, maybe for the first time, am I pushing him away? Did I not appreciate him enough? This flicker of regret isn't desperation yet. It's an internal acknowledgement that things are shifting, and she may have contributed to it. This stage is often overlooked by men because the signs are subtle. She might become quieter in conversation, less playful, or even slightly distant emotionally. These are not rejections. They're indications that her mind is processing the reality of potentially losing you. She's assessing her own feelings, comparing them to the stability, respect, or value you've consistently provided. It's important to understand that regret is a natural response. When someone realizes the possibility of loss, they begin to evaluate the impact of that absence. Your calm composure, independence, and focus on your own life amplify this effect. The more grounded you remain, the stronger the flicker of regret can grow into deeper awareness. Men often misinterpret this moment as disinterest, but it's quite the opposite. She's starting to notice what she didn't fully appreciate while you were readily available. That first flicker of regret is her mind waking up to your worth. It's the opening stage of a shift in her emotions, where attraction, longing, and reflection can start to build, even if she hasn't realized it consciously yet. 2. She starts replaying your moments. Once the first flicker of regret sets in, she naturally begins replaying moments she shared with you. It doesn't matter whether they were big dates, small gestures, or even casual conversations. Her mind starts running through them over and over. She notices things she may have overlooked before, like how you made her feel special, the way you listened, or the consistency of your presence. This isn't calculated or manipulative on her part. It's a subconscious response. When someone senses loss, the brain instinctively analyzes past interactions to understand what went wrong. She might remember times when you were there for her, moments when you made her laugh, or how calm and confident you were in situations that stressed others out. All of these reflections highlight your value in a way that wasn't as apparent when you were consistently available. This mental replay often creates a mix of emotions. She might feel warmth and nostalgia, paired with a subtle sense of panic. Did I take him for granted? Did I push him away? These thoughts are her emotional system trying to recalibrate and assess whether she still wants to invest in you. Men often misread this stage entirely. They assume if she isn't texting, calling, or showing obvious signs of attachment, she doesn't care. But in reality, her mind is actively processing, evaluating, and noticing all the ways you mattered. She's beginning to compare her feelings and behavior to your consistent actions, which can trigger longing and desire if she senses the possibility of losing you permanently. At this stage, your behavior is crucial. Overreacting, chasing, or constantly seeking reassurance interrupts her internal reflection. By maintaining your composure, staying independent, and focusing on your own life, you allow her brain to continue replaying moments with you at the center. This reflection strengthens her emotional awareness and builds a subtle pull toward you. 3. Doubt creeps in slowly after she starts replaying your moments. Doubt begins to creep in. It's rarely sudden or dramatic. It's subtle, building quietly in the back of her mind. She might start questioning her choices, thinking about how she treated you, or wondering if she really valued your presence as much as she should have. Doubt is powerful because it forces her to reflect, and reflection often brings desire. This stage usually manifests as small, internal questions. She might think, did I take him for granted? Or is he really going to be gone for good? The realization that losing you is a real possibility triggers emotional tension. She begins to recognize that your absence has consequences, and those consequences affect her more than she expected. Doubt also causes comparison. She may start noticing other men, but instead of thinking they're a replacement, she often finds herself comparing them to you. 4. The fear of replacement. Once doubt starts creeping in, the fear of replacement often sets in. This doesn't happen consciously at first. It's a subtle psychological response. She begins to consider the possibility that someone else could step into your role, someone who appreciates your qualities, values your presence, and offers what she may have taken for granted. That fear can trigger a mix of anxiety and heightened awareness about losing you. This fear is powerful because it activates her competitive and protective instincts. She starts noticing how much effort you put into the relationship or your interactions and realizes it's not easy for someone to replace that. Even if she isn't actively seeking someone else, the mere thought that she could lose your unique presence forces her to reflect on what she's truly missing. Men often overlook this stage. They assume that if she's distant or quiet, she's no longer interested. In reality, her mind is processing the scarcity of your attention. She starts assessing her own emotional investment versus what she's receiving from you. That imbalance creates tension, an emotional pull toward you, because she begins to recognize the value you bring in ways that were invisible when you were fully present and readily available. Your response during this time is crucial. Overtexting, seeking constant reassurance, or showing panic can destroy the effect. By maintaining calm, confidence, and independence, you heighten her awareness of your worth. The less you appear emotionally dependent, the more she realizes what it truly means to have you in her life. This stage also lays the groundwork for her desire to reconnect. The fear of losing you completely highlights your unique value and makes her reflect on what she can't easily replace. It's a subtle, emotional shift that begins to move her from regret and doubt toward genuine longing. 5. Emotional pull versus rational mind. At this stage, a woman's emotions begin to clash with her rational mind. She knows logically that relationships have their challenges, that arguments or misunderstandings were part of normal interactions, but emotionally, she feels the absence of your presence strongly. That tug-of-war creates a powerful internal tension she can't ignore. Picture a situation where she's out with friends or going about her daily life. On the surface, she appears composed, maybe even distracted. But internally, her mind drifts to you, replaying conversations, remembering your humor, your calm confidence, or the way you made her feel secure. Her rational mind might tell her to move on or not overthink, but her emotions are telling her something entirely different. I miss him. I need him. This stage is critical because it's where longing begins to mix with clarity. She becomes aware of your absence not just physically, but emotionally. She starts comparing the connection she had with you to others or even to her own expectations. The contrast often highlights your unique value in ways she didn't notice before. Men often miss these subtle emotional cues. They interpret a lack of direct contact or visible attachment as disinterest. In reality, she's processing deeply, emotionally tethered to you while her logical mind grapples with what's appropriate or possible. She may hesitate to reach out, not because she doesn't want to, but because she's trying to reconcile these conflicting feelings. Your response at this stage should remain steady and composed. Panicking, over-communicating, or demanding attention interrupts her internal processing. By giving her space while maintaining your own life and independence, you allow her emotions to work naturally. That subtle pull, combined with reflection, strengthens her desire to reconnect. 6. Realization hits hard eventually. The cumulative effect of regret, reflection, doubt, and emotional tension leads to a moment of real clarity. Realization hits hard. She suddenly understands what it truly means to lose you. It's not just your presence she misses, it's the consistency, the attention, the value, and the way you made her feel understood and appreciated. This isn't a superficial awareness. It's a deeper emotional awakening that can be difficult to ignore. At this stage, she starts connecting the dots. She notices patterns she may have taken for granted before, how you supported her, how you made her feel seen, and the little things that added up to a sense of stability and trust. She realizes that what she had with you is rare and not easily replaced. The weight of your absence begins to sink in, often accompanied by a mix of longing and urgency. Many men underestimate the power of this stage. They assume if she hasn't reached out or expressed desire, she's indifferent. In reality, she's fully aware of the loss internally, even if it hasn't yet translated into action. The more composed and independent you remain, the stronger this realization becomes. Your absence, rather than pushing her away, magnifies the awareness of your value. This stage often triggers internal questioning. Did I handle things wrong? Could I have shown him I appreciated him more? Is it too late? These thoughts can lead to behavioral changes. She may start noticing other men and subconsciously comparing them to you, or she might begin finding ways to re-engage emotionally without overtly admitting it. The key for men to understand here is that your calm detachment, independence, and self-respect are amplifying her recognition of your worth. By not chasing or over-explaining, you create space for her realization to solidify naturally. This stage is pivotal because it often determines whether she begins seeking reconnection or acceptance of loss. The realization hits hard because it's not just emotional, it's a cognitive acknowledgement of what she can no longer take for granted. It's the moment she begins to fully feel the impact of losing you. 7. Reflection sparks desire. By the time she reaches this stage, reflection has fully taken hold and desire starts to ignite. She's not just thinking about you casually, she's reflecting deeply on what your presence brought to her life. She recalls the confidence you displayed, the calm energy you carried, the way you made her feel important without overdoing it. These reflections spark a subtle, powerful desire to reconnect. Here's where many men make a critical mistake. They assume she's lost interest because she hasn't reached out yet. In reality, she's internally processing, realizing what her actions or lack of appreciation have cost her. Her mind revisits moments where she felt connected, loved, or supported by you. That reflection can create a longing that's hard for her to ignore. Even if pride or fear initially holds her back, this stage is also where constructive reflection for men comes in. If you notice signs of renewed interest or subtle emotional shifts, it's an opportunity to recognize your own patterns. Perhaps you are too available, too forgiving, or too eager in ways that didn't preserve your value. Reflection sparks awareness on both sides. Women reflect on what they've lost, and men can reflect on how to maintain boundaries and self-respect moving forward. It's important to stay grounded here. You don't want to jump into overcompensation or excessive pursuit. The goal is not to manipulate, but to allow her natural reflection to turn into genuine desire. By continuing to show independence, confidence, and emotional stability, you reinforce the pull she feels. She notices that your value isn't dependent on her attention. It's inherent in how you carry yourself. Reflection leading to desire is a natural, almost instinctual process. It shows that when a woman truly recognizes the cost of losing you, her emotions and thoughts align toward wanting what she initially overlooked. This stage demonstrates that your calm, composed, and self-assured presence is what ultimately triggers longing, not chasing or pleading. When a woman realizes she's lost you, her emotional journey is far deeper than most men ever notice. From the first flicker of regret to the reflection that sparks desire, she experiences a mix of doubt, longing, and awareness of your unique value. The critical insight for men is that her feelings often intensify when you maintain independence, calmness, and self-respect. The more you avoid chasing or over-explaining, the more space she has to process her emotions, and the stronger her attraction can become. Here's a provocative truth. Many men lose relationships not because the woman isn't interested, but because they fail to hold their own value and boundaries. They panic, over-communicate, or try to fix her feelings, which only diminishes their worth in her eyes. By stepping back and allowing her to reflect, you naturally shift the dynamic. Attraction isn't forced. It emerges from the recognition of your presence and the realization of what's been lost. I want to hear from you. Have you ever noticed her behavior change when you became more distant or focused on your own life? Share your experiences in the comments. I read and respond to each one. Your story can help other men see the power of maintaining composure and independence. Remember, her longing and reflection are natural responses to losing something valuable. By staying grounded and aware, you don't just observe the shift, you create it. You hold the power, and she can't help but notice it. That's the reality most men overlook. Desire is often born from absence, calm, and self-respect, not from chasing.